All right, you guys. Okay, so welcome to the Bio 130 class here. You're in Monday's lab. 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock is our lab time. So we didn't have class yesterday. So basically what this video is going to be is a replacement for yesterday's class. Kind of cool. You get to do it whenever you want. But this is also important because it's going to give you some vital information about the class, the syllabus, what we're going to be doing here on out, the way the class is going to work, things like that. So I'll go ahead and jump right into this here. So Bio 130. So what's the deal with this class? First of all, it's pretty great. I love this class. I took it 2 years ago. Still one of my favorite classes to date. It will challenge you, okay? But it's completely doable if you work hard and stay on top of your stuff. This is, a full-on college course. It's 4 credits. It's a pretty big class, but don't let that scare you because it's doable. Like, it's not material that's over the top crazy. It's, just a challenging class. So the material itself is gonna push you, but you guys are more than prepared, more than ready to tackle this. All right. So as long as you stay on top of your work and have fun, you're gonna do great. Okay. Enjoying the class is going to be a big deal as well. I had a blast in this class, and I contribute a lot of my success to that. I had a great time, and it was fun, and it made going to class, made doing the assignments more enjoyable rather than thinking about it as, I got to go to class, I got to do my homework. Having a good attitude is going to really help as well, okay? So who's this guy talking into the microphone here? Probably with a horrible echo because I'm in a room that's pretty empty. Okay, my name is Bridger West, okay? I'm your TA. I will be working with you all semester in the lab. I'm a junior here. I'm prepping to go to med school. I'm in the PD Bio department, so that's physiology and developmental biology. That's what I'm majoring in. And I like biology. It's really fun. It's interesting. By far my favorite subject. It's super fun for me. I am the oldest of 4 kids. That's me on the left, with the baby blue tie. Anyway, I'm a big skier. I climb, wakeboard, all that fun stuff. I'm a huge outdoor junkie, but I'm also a closet nerd. So if you have something nerdy you want to talk about, odds are I could probably sit down and have a great conversation with you. Give you guys a heads up here, I'm not that great with names. It takes me 7 or 8 times before it sticks, and even then I have a hard time. I mix people up. So if I call you the wrong name or I forget, bear with me the first couple of weeks here as I'm trying to learn all you guys' names. I would ask for questions if you guys were here with me in class, but you're not. So if you guys have questions, you feel free to either email me them if you so desire, or we can just talk in lab next Monday. So my information is here. As a TA, I'm here for you guys, okay? I am, put here by the professor to help you and to teach you guys, be there for you, clear up any misconceptions you guys might have. And if you guys need to contact me, do not hesitate. Okay, that's a lot of students come into problems when they don't go to the TA or don't go to the professor, and they wait until the last week of the semester and say, hey, I've been struggling with this. At that point, you're out of time. So if you guys initially are struggling, or you go to the first day of class, tomorrow, and you walk out with a deer in the headlights look, email me, call me. Okay, here's my email. Email me anytime. I'm a college student, so I'm up late, just like you guys. If I'm awake, I'll email you back. Or if I'm on a date, probably not going to email you then. Okay? But, if you need to contact me, if you have a question about the homework, about the lab, about something in lecture, email me. Okay? We'll get together. You can come to my office hours, whatever it takes. Okay? I'm going to be here for you, help you guys out. This class is, it's a hard class, and you guys have other things going on. Okay, there's no need to stress about this class. Make it a big deal, make it a priority. But you also know that you have help. Okay, I can help explain concepts. We can work through things. That I really enjoy helping people out. That's partially why I'm a TA. So don't hesitate to contact me. Do not hesitate to use the resources you have. This is my number. Use this more sparingly. I'm giving it to you guys in case, it is an urgent thing. You do need to contact me quick, ASAP. You guys can text me or call me. If I don't know someone's number, I won't answer the phone probably. So just leave me a message. I check my messages frequently, so if you need to get a hold of me for something super urgent, call me or text me. I'll get back to you quick, same as before. I'm here for you guys. I'm going to be there if you need me. These are my office hours. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's going to be 11 a.m. to about 1 o'clock. And then on Tuesdays, I'm also there from 4 to 7. Okay, and this is in the LSB. It's in room 258. Okay, it's the Bio 130 TA tutor lab area. I'll usually be in one of the study rooms. So it's like a big room, and there's study rooms off to the side. I'll be in one of those rooms usually if they're free. If not, I'll just be hanging out at a table. Come in and find me. And again, if you guys can't make it to these times, right there, it's on the slide. But you can call me or email me, and we can schedule on the time to meet. If you guys absolutely can't make those times, we could meet Friday afternoon. We could meet Wednesday night, in the evening or whatever. We could meet Saturday morning, that kind of thing. I'm also thinking this semester of toying with the idea of doing a live stream on YouTube. If you guys are interested in using something like that, to where on some set aside time during the week, I would jump on. We could do a quick little live stream. I could answer questions you have about lectures or about homeworks and things like that. You guys could, chat with me while we're on YouTube, and I can answer your questions and things. Again, I'm just kind of toying with the idea right now. We'll talk about it a little more when we meet in person. But just an idea that I'm throwing out there right now. Give you guys some time to think about it in case that's something you guys think you might want to do. If not, then we can just do it. Do what we've been doing, with office hours and things like that. So I have a little soapbox here, and this is how to succeed in this class. Okay, so I've taken this class and I did really well, and these are the things that I took away from it. This is the things that I did that really helped me learn and grow and succeed in this class. Okay, first thing, don't be scared to ask questions. Okay, BYU, for some reason, us kids at BYU, we have a little bit of a stigma that we feel bad if we don't really know what the right answer is right off the get-go. And I had to kind of overcome this a little bit. But once I did, man, learning was so much easier, and it took so much stress out of class periods. When, say I didn't know something, if I just raise my hand and ask it, it's a quick and easy thing, and then I know, right then and there, zero stress. And odds are you're not the only one who doesn't know the answer. And if you are, who cares? Say we're talking about DNA and you forget what DNA stands for, or say we're talking about genetics and you forget what a Punnett square is. Things like that may seem simple, but if you haven't done it for a while, or you just got off a mission, or maybe biology just isn't your thing and you just keep forgetting little biology terms, raise your hand and ask a question. No big deal. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to laugh. I want to be there for you and help you guys learn and make it a safe environment for you guys to ask questions and be part of a group and learn together. So don't be scared to ask questions. That applies to every class, not just Bio 130, okay? For this class especially, stay on top of your homework. We'll go on this. We'll go over the homework, the way it works here in just a little bit. But to give you a little rundown, if you do your homework sooner rather than later, it's going to make life so much easier for you. You guys already have busy schedules. You guys already have more than one class going on. All of us are busy. Doing your homework sooner rather than later, taking some time, if it's confusing to you, you have questions, come meet with me in office hours, shoot me an email. That will give you the time it takes to really kind of commit the concepts to memory and really understand how the class works and the material we're trying to get you to understand. Because if you just blow through the homework 35 minutes before it's due, you didn't really learn anything, and then it's really hard for you later on to review the concepts because you never really tried to apply it in the homework. With that said, try to learn the concepts themselves and not just try to learn the test, if that makes sense. A lot of students will they'll just kind of memorize and then plug and chug for all the tests. it works, and it worked in high school for a lot of us, but when you get to this level, it's more of we learn a concept, and then the professor could apply that concept in a variety of ways. It could be applied this way. She could flip it upside down and put it backwards on the test, that kind of thing. So you want to make sure that you understand the concept so you can apply it in many different scenarios, not just one set in stone, I know it this way, and if it shows up different on the test, then I just kind of give up. Make sure you can recognize the concepts and learn them. And then that will help you as you get further into biology, if that's the path you're taking, because then those concepts keep reoccurring. You'll have a good solid base. And the same thing goes with other classes. All these things kind of apply to every class at BYU, but specifically for this class, okay? The last thing on here is use the TAs, okay? You're paying tuition. You're already here. Us TAs, we're here. We're getting paid to sit in a room most days. If you guys don't show up, then I just kind of sit there and hang out, and there's nothing for me to do. So if you guys come and use the TAs, you have the lecture TAs, you have me as your lab TA. There's also a handful of other lab TAs that you can go to. There's usually biology tutors that are just hang out, like general biology tutors for the department hang out in LSB 258 or 2058. So if you guys have questions or things, go to use the TAs. We've kind of been there, we've done that, we understand the material, and it's familiar to us. We've taken the tests, we've done the assignments, so we kind of understand a little more kind of how things work. So if you guys have questions, again, don't be scared to ask questions and come to us. Come to the TAs, okay? So that kind of ends my little soapbox there. Hopefully you guys take a little bit of that to heart and apply it. It will make your life so much easier. Okay, so lab number 1. So our lab was yesterday, but we didn't have school. So we're going to do it right now, right? The purpose of lab number 1 is to give you kind of an introduction, kind of go over the syllabus a little bit. We're going to go over what we have coming up as a library assignment. So you guys want to make sure you guys get that done pretty quick here. And then we have, if we were in lab, we would have prepared our fruit flies for a lab coming up. But since we weren't in lab, we're going to have to do it next Monday. So the objectives we have here, we're going to introduce the lab, kind of the structure, assignments, grading, how the class works. I'm going to go over the library I sent with you guys, explain it to you, and give you guys the resources you need to start that. And then we're going to go over the procedure real quick, super briefly for the fruit flies, because it does take 12 weeks to get our data. So what we have to do is do it as fast as we can next Monday before we start our lab. That way we can get the fruit flies done and then go into the lab and not waste a whole lot of time. So the lab introduction here, all right? So how the lab works, basically you're going to come to lab and participate. You're going to attempt the homework before the next lecture and have a TA sign off on it. And then you're going to come to lab, take a quiz, turn in your homework, and then participate some more. That's basically the general, little cookie cutter explanation for how the lab works. It works really well. And why is that, okay? The lab is designed to provide you guys a really hands-on, exploratory experience, and it's gonna kind of throw a lot of different biological concepts at you, okay? It's designed to be fun. It's designed to deepen your own understanding of biology. So you're going to go in hands-on and make your own little hypotheses. You're going to talk about things with your neighbors. You're going to work through the problems together and explore. And I'm going to be there to kind of help and guide you along the way, but a lot of it you do on your own. And it makes it crazy fun. It's designed to enhance your learning and not be busy work, okay? So a lot of labs, so I've taken 6 or 7 labs now at BYU with a couple different subjects. Bio 130 is the funnest lab I've had at BYU, hands down. It was crazy fun. It's not super stressful as long as you stay on top of your work, obviously, but it's a really fun lab. It's built really well. It runs really smoothly. It's an awesome lab. So if you guys go into it with an open attitude, wanting to have fun and being open, asking questions and things, working with your neighbors, it's going to be great. So look forward to that. It's crazy fun. And biology is just I'm probably, talking your ear off here, but I love biology. I think it's crazy, crazy fun. All right. So speaking of busy work, our homework. All right. The homework assignments are not busy work. They're designed to apply what you learn in lecture and what we go over in lab, and give you a kind of test taking scenario where a lot of the same concepts on your homeworks are going to appear on the tests. Okay. All of your homework assignments are already in your lab packets. There's 14 homework assignments total. You get 15 points for each homework assignment. So I recommend doing all of them. 15 points is quite a bit. And especially in a big class like this, you're going to want every point you can get. You get 5 points for just attempting the assignment. Easy 5 points, and then you get 10 points for accuracy. So whether you get the right answer or the wrong answer kind of thing. If it's late, you get a 25% penalty each day it's late. So I would recommend not turning it in late. Make sure that you are on top of it. Again, that comes to kind of getting things done ahead of time. So how it will work, and you'll kind of go over this a little bit in lecture, and we'll review it again when we meet together on Monday. Basically, what will happen is you'll get your homework assignment assigned after lab. So like you'll do your lab. And then right following your lab, there's the homework assignment. So what you'll do is you need to get your homework assignment signed off by either myself or a lecture TA before the next lecture. So we have lab on Monday. So you guys need to have me initial or a lab TA initial it before lecture starts on Wednesday. So what you do is you get 5 points for a good attempt to complete the entire assignment before the next class period. So basically, if you go through, and most times at the end of lab we'll have some time to work on it. You guys can start it before you come to lab. You can kind of look over things and try to attempt it before you come to lab. Basically, you need to try to attempt every single problem. If you guys write, I don't know on each number, then you're not going to be able to get credit for it. You have to try each problem and give like a wholehearted attempt. If you kind of give your little baby attempt through each problem and write some numbers, that are random, a little random explanation or an I don't know, I can't give you credit for it. So what I'm going to do is if I see that, I'm just going to say, hey, go attempt it and come back to me so I can give you the 5 points. I don't want to have to, give you guys a 0 on the attemption part of on the homework because it's crazy easy points. Okay. Then what you do is you'll take after you've attempted it and stuff, you'll go back through and you'll review it. You can go through the problems again. You can come to my office hours. We can work on it a little bit together so you can help, if the concepts are tricky. But then you turn in the finished assignment when you come to lab the next week. So you have an entire week to do the homework, but we want you to have attempted it before the next lecture. The reason for that is it helps solidify the concepts we do in lab, and it will help prepare you for the upcoming lectures. A lot of the material that you'll try on your own before lecture are going to be talked about in lecture. So if you already touched on it and tried, it's going to be a lot easier to learn it come lecture. Right? And then you get 10 points for completing the entire assignment correctly and on time. At that point, if the correct answer is A and you put B, you get marked wrong kind of thing. We're grading for accuracy, and then obviously don't turn it in late because then you get a 25% penalty. Okay, so I've taken the class and I have some tips for you guys on the homework. Okay, these are like super secret, super exclusive tips, so I hope you're ready for them. Okay. Start your homework or at least look at it before you come to class, okay? In lab, we're going to, move quickly through the explanations, and I want to get you guys going in the lab section. And I'm going to be walking around and working with each group. But if you guys have already looked at the homework or tried to start the homework before you come to class, a lot of the answers to the homeworks are in the lab. So if you've already looked at it, as you're doing the lab, you'll recognize that, there's an answer there, and that concept will stick out to you and you'll remember it better come lecture, come the tests. So if you guys adopt this habit, from the beginning, it's going to make life crazy, crazy easy, okay? Number 2, use time at the end of lab to work on your homework. Okay, most of days, I've already mentioned this, but most days we'll we'll finish up our lab, with time to spare. Most of the labs move through pretty quick, and they're not super hard, but they do take a good chunk of the time. But if you have an extra 20, 30, 40 minutes in the lab, sit down, stay in the lab and work on your homework. Then I can sign off on it right when you walk out the door, and then you're home free. You're totally good. And most times, what I found is if you looked at the homework before lab, if you work hard during lab, and then you finish your homework or like finish your quote unquote attempt before you leave, most of the time when students do that, they have 100% already. All the answers are usually correct if they've done those two things. So making sure that you're doing that, and then don't forget to have it signed off. That's super easy points. That's 5 points total. That's basically 60 points that you guys will be getting, 70 points that you guys will be getting just for trying to attempt the homework. So 70 points, that's like a whole letter grade, just about. So attempting the homework versus, I'm not going to care about it, is, to me, a pretty big sacrifice. So I would make sure that you don't forget to have it signed off. Try it, or at least look at it before you come to lab, and then use the time remaining after we finish our labs to work on the homework so I can sign off on it, and you guys get the idea. But just make sure that you guys are working on it, staying proactive with that. We have quizzes in this lab, and quizzes begin at the start of lab, so don't be late. Quizzes are going to last about 10 minutes, so don't be late. And quizzes are 10 points each, so don't be late. I think you guys are getting the trend here. The quizzes are a big part of the lab structure. So what we'll do is the quizzes will cover the material from the previous week's lectures and the lab that we did last week. So our lab coming up will be on calorimetry. So when we come to lab on the 18th, we would have already finished our lab on the 11th. So the quiz on the 18th will be on calorimetry and material covered in lecture. There are 11 quizzes total, so that's 110 points that you guys are getting from doing the quizzes. Now, if you have done the homework, if you have attended lecture and done these things, then the quizzes are going to be easy. The concepts are going to be there. It's not going to be super hard. But I have some tips for you. Just like with the homework, I've taken this class. I understand how the quizzes work. So tip number 1, don't be late. I cannot stress to you guys how important this is to not be late to lab. If you show up 5 minutes late, you only have 5 minutes to take the quiz. So, if you walk in and it's, 8 minutes after the hour, I'll hand you your piece of paper, but you have 2 minutes to complete a quiz. I had a buddy who took the class with me who was always consistently late, and he did poorly in the class because he missed a lot of the quizzes and didn't do well on the quizzes. So just make sure that you guys are coming on time, and then you can't make up the quizzes. So if you're 15 minutes late to class, you've missed out on 10 points. So don't be late. Be there on time. Do the homework. That's quiz tip number 2. Make sure that you're doing the homework. If you're proactive in doing the homework, the quizzes will be easy, like I said before. And then coming to lectures. So if you go to lecture and you do your homework and you're not late, quizzes are like zero stress. If you don't go to lecture and you're always, behind in your homework or procrastinating the last second, and you're running to class a minute or two late every single lab period, quizzes are going to be stressful, and you're not going to be as successful as you could be if you're on top of your stuff. So my recommendation to you is going to be stay on top of your things, don't be late, do your homework, and go to lecture. All right. So the next little deal we're going to talk about is attendance. All right. So obviously it's a lab. You have to kind of be there to do the lab. So attendance is a really big part of this lab. And obviously, like if you don't come, you're going to fail. So I recommend coming. I think it's important. We understand that there are going to be times when you guys are not going to be able to make it. Things happen. So you get crazy sick one day. If you're crazy sick, don't come. I don't want to get sick. We don't want to get everyone else sick. But we can schedule a makeup lab for you. And what that is you can go to a lab with another section you can take the quiz. You can get the homework assignment. You can get it signed off, all that stuff, and you don't get penalized for it. So if you guys can't make it, we can schedule a time to do that. Each lab is worth 25 points. So trust me, you don't want to skip lab. That's 10 points for a quiz and then 15 points for the homework. So you just can't make up those points unless you do the makeup lab. All right. So we've built the class so you can miss one day. You have one lab unexcused that you can miss, and it's not going to hurt you. You'll lose the points, so potentially you have to make up those points in other areas by doing well on tests and things. But it's not going to be the end of the world if you miss a lab and you can't make it up. But with that said, you get one unexcused. But if you have two labs and you don't make them up, you will fail the entire course. Okay? Not to be Mr. Armageddon here, but make sure that you guys are not missing lab. Okay? We do have a makeup policy though, so we're gonna go over that real quick. If you cannot make it to lab, let me know ahead of time. If you guys can call me or email me saying, hey, I won't make it to lab, or hey, I'm sick, or hey, I can't make it, or hey, I'm going to be 2.5 hours late to lab, can I just make it up later? That kind of thing. If something happens, in your personal life that makes it tough, things happen, email me, let me know ahead of time, and then we can find another lab section for you to go make up the lab, all right? You need to talk to me and the other TA for the section you're going to be in, so we can both coordinate and know where you're going to be. If you talk to me and then randomly show up to another section, we can't give you the points. If you randomly show up to another section and don't tell me, I can't get you those points. So make sure you're talking to both of us. Again, if you talk to us ahead of time, then it's super easy. We coordinate it. We're already planning for you, that kind of thing. So just make sure you're staying on top of it. If you do this, if you plan a makeup for the lab, you will not get penalized in any way. You won't lose points. You take the quiz, you get the homework, piece of cake. The only time you lose points is if you don't do the makeup. So if you miss lab, do the makeup, or just don't miss lab. This is obviously a lab. It's a biology lab, so safety is a big priority for us. There are risks involved. We're working with different chemicals. We have there's biological risks. We're working with equipment and things. Glass beakers and things. If you guys you don't want to get something broken and get cut, things like that. We want you guys to have an awesome experience, but we want you guys to be safe more than we want you to have an awesome experience, if that makes sense. If you guys come to class and something happens and you get hurt, then that's a bad day. So in your lab packet, there's some safety stuff, okay? So we want you to read that and sign that before you come to lab on Monday, okay? So if we would have had class yesterday, you would have signed it there, you would have read through it and all that kind of stuff. So you're gonna do that this week. All this information should be online as well in the class materials, just so you guys are aware. But all the safety information is found there. We're going to go over kind of the basics, kind of, the big stuff right now. But there are some smaller things in there that we want to make sure you guys know and understand. So make sure you guys read that and then sign that agreement that you're going to be safe in lab, all right? So some of the reminders, some of these big ones that you guys have to know before coming to lab on Monday is that you must wear long pants and closed-toed shoes. I'm a big shorts guy. I like shorts. I'm not a big warm weather person. I'm a skier, so snow is very fun for me. And it's hot in the fall. until we get to November, it's going to be hot. But you have to wear long pants and you have to wear closed-toed shoes to lab. Otherwise, I can't let you in. You guys are welcome to bring a pair of scrubs. If you absolutely have to wear shorts and you want to bring a pair of scrubs, or girls if you're wearing like a dress or something, and you throw a pair of scrubs in your backpack, and you can just throw on those scrubs to come to class. Basically, we don't want any significant amount of skin showing beneath your waist. Okay, so if you come and you're wearing running shorts and some sandals, I can't let you in the lab. I'm gonna have to send you home to change, and then you're gonna miss the quiz, and then you're late, and then it's just a bummer deal. So don't be late, but also make sure you're wearing long pants and closed-toed shoes. So jeans, khakis, whatever, that kind of stuff, and then make sure you're wearing like sneakers or shoes. Girls, if you're wearing shoes that have like a big open, like some flats where like most of your foot is exposed, those are a no-go. Make sure you're wearing something that covers your foot. We'd hate for something to spill or drop on your foot, and have exposed skin that could be, you could get an abrasion, a laceration, or, a burn of some sort with a chemical or something like that. So we'd hate for that to happen. No food or drink in the lab. If you guys have a sandwich or a soda or something, I can't let you bring it into lab. Either eat it before you come in or wait till you finish your lab, and exit the lab to eat it or drink it. We are working with some chemicals and things. We can't have you spill things on your workstations. If there's chemicals in the air that we're working with and stuff, you don't want to be eating or drinking that stuff. Excuse me. We want you guys to be very careful with the equipment that we use. A lot of it is really, really expensive. In our lab alone, we have we have thousands of dollars of equipment. So basically the rule is if you break it, you already bought it. We want you guys to be safe and have fun, and we want to teach you guys how to use the equipment safely and properly. If you have questions, ask me. If you can't quite remember how it works or how to use a certain piece of equipment, raise your hand, call me over. We'd rather you ask 5 or 6 times than break it. Because all the material that we're going to use, all the equipment is expensive, and we hate for you to have to, fork out a bunch of money for, something that could have been avoided really easily. You are responsible for cleaning up your lab station at the end of every lab. So we're the last lab on Monday, but there's a lab on Tuesday. So we want to make sure that your lab station is clean, that the surfaces are wiped off, that all of your things are put away. We don't want to have things left out. We don't want to have things messy. We don't want to have paper all over the place. We want to make sure it's clean and tidy. And that way when we come in, it's ready to go. And then the next lab that comes in, they're ready to go and can go straight into the lab without having to waste any time. This is one that a lot of students forget about, and I think it's really, really important. You want to always wash your hands with soap and water before you leave the lab. So a lot of the time we're not working with things that are, they're really going to get on your hands and stuff. But it's a good habit to get into. And also fall, as we kind of move into October, November, we're kind of getting into like a little bit of flu and cold season. So we have a lot of students that are going through these labs and using the same equipment. And if you guys are washing your hands after you leave the lab, you're not only washing anything that could potentially be harmful to you off of your hands, but you're also washing any germs that could potentially make you sick. So we'd hate for you to, get some chemical on your hand from the lab, but we'd also hate for you to get sick from our lab. So if you guys are washing your hands before you leave the lab, that helps you just stay safe and also stay healthy. The cell phones, cell phones aren't allowed in the lab, but when it comes down to it, you guys are all adults. You're responsible. If you're on your phone the whole time playing, Clash of Clans or something, then I'm probably going to ask you to put your phone away. If you won't put it away, I'll probably say, hey, give me your phone until you leave. I'll put it up on the front table next to my computer and you can grab it on your way out. But if it's an emergency or something, I mean, feel free, if your mom, if you have someone in the hospital and your mom calls you, go for it, answer it. But just make sure, you guys know what the lines are. Just be responsible. We want to focus on biology and focus on the labs when we're in lab. It's not time to goof off on our cell phones, okay? If we were in lab together, I'd ask you guys for questions. All of this is in your syllabus, so make sure you read through it. You have the class syllabus, and it includes the lab syllabus, so make sure you read over both really well. Make sure you thoroughly go through them. If you have any questions that are really specific, or maybe that I need to clarify something for you, shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to reply to those. And then reminder, just make sure you read the syllabus and safety information before you come to class on Monday. That's important for a couple of reasons. It's important because we want to make sure that you have read the material and know coming into lab, but also it helps solidify what we've gone over today. So if I could talk for another 3 hours going through every little detail, and you'd remember probably most of it, but listening to it and then reading it one more time and going over it yourself will help you really remember it and keep you safer in lab, help you understand the material, lower stress because you understand how it works, and then things will move smoothly. So, all right, next thing on our agenda here is the library assignment. All right, so our library assignment is the beginning of a book review that we're going to do. So you guys are going to be reading the My Inner Fish. It's a super fun book. I really enjoyed it when I read it. So basically, you're going to get this book review that's due in the future, somewhere in the semester. You have this book review. It's worth 100 points. Holy crap, what are we going to do? This is a huge assignment. It's worth a lot of points. This is basically worth almost every quiz you'll take in lab. It's a big deal, right? So to make it easier on you guys, the class is set up where you're going to start this book review today. You're going to start it today, and you'll finish it closer to the end of the semester. So you have almost an entire semester to work on this book report. And as you're reading the book, you can be, keeping those ideas in your mind, taking notes and things while you read. So that way when it comes to writing your book report, you can pound it out super easy, and it's not super stressful. So what to do with this library assignment? So we don't have to write the book report now, just to make that super clear. The book report itself is due closer to the end of the semester. But right now, we're starting the research associated with it. So what you're going to do is you're going to attend a library session. You're going to be learning how to research articles and write your bibliography. So you're going to attend this session. You're going to learn all those tools. Then you're going to research on your own, find some more sources, some more articles that you can use. And then you're going to write your bibliography. You're going to visit the writing center in the library to have them look over and review your bibliography. So this is just kind of like a peer review kind of thing. It's getting a second pair of eyes on your bibliography, make sure it's formatted correctly. It also shows you where the writing center is. It's a super awesome tool. I use it all the time. Having someone else who, that's their major is writing, look over your paper is super, super beneficial. So that's just us we're putting you in the library, teaching you the tools of the library. We're having you go out on your own, and then we're giving you more tools and things that you can use at your disposal, so that this class's assignment is as low stress as it can be. Then you're going to turn in a media article. So you're going to pick one of your articles that you found. You're going to give that to me, and you're going to turn in your completed bibliography to me. And that all needs to be done by lab number 3, which our lab is going to end up being on September 18th. So that's a Monday. So make sure this whole thing is done by Monday, September 18th. Now that seems a ways away, but it's going to come up quick. I mean, semesters move really fast, so make sure that you're on top of this and you're doing it you're doing it proactively, okay? There are some specific requirements. All the specifics are, I'm pretty sure they're in your lab packet. They should be. If not, then there's an updated version of that assignment online with our class materials. And if you guys need it, if you guys cannot find it, email me. I can send you my copy. It's the exact same thing that you guys have. It just tells you kind of what the assignment requires and gives you all the specifics, okay? To give you a little watered down version, make sure you attend a library session in the library. If you don't attend, you won't get points. So you have to attend one of these sessions. You'll sign up for it, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But make sure you're attending a library session. Make sure you have 7 sources, and then you have a little explanation beneath all of them. So you'll have your 7 sources, the 7 articles that you have found, and then you'll take, about a paragraph, and you'll write out the hypothesis, the thesis, kind of a little gist of what's going on with that article, and you're going to do the whole thing in less than 2 pages. So if you write 1.5 pages for each one of those sources, I'm going to turn you away, partially because I don't want to read it, but also partially because it doesn't meet the requirements. So make sure you have all those sources and explain them briefly, and then again the specifics are on the actual assignment sheet. You're going to turn in a media article with your bibliography, and this is something that students make a mistake with all the time. So either type or write the website of that article on top of the printout. It's like a super easy, simple thing, but I can't tell you how many students forget to do this. So make sure that you are just on top of it. That reminder, it's here on the slides, it's on your assignment. I've mentioned it here. Don't forget it because it's easy points. It's a good idea to start this soon, like right now, like today. Like make a note in your planner as you're listening to this to make it an effort. Go to library, all that kind of stuff. Sign up for this thing, and that's a good rule in general, just for this class and BYU as a whole. The sooner you get something done, the more time you have to review it. Take it to a TA, take it to your professor, look over it, whether it's a paper, an assignment, a project, whatever it is, staying on top of your things is a really good thing to do. If you have any questions about this, feel free to email me. I can answer your questions. Come to my office hours. I'm more than happy to look over your bibliography. I'm more than happy to check your sources and kind of see what you're doing. And I can help you out with that. I can help you, I can point you in the right direction for finding your research stuff. I can teach you, some tips and tricks that I have found researching over the last couple of years, trying to find research articles that fit what I'm trying to talk about. So, I'm a good resource. The library is an awesome resource. The Writing Center is a good resource. So, you kind of hopefully get in the trend that in this class, we're trying to set you guys up with the best possible formula for success. So try to use it all, And if something, you say you go to the library and it was fun, but it wasn't super helpful, and then you come to the Writing Center and they were crazy helpful, well then you realize that, they're super awesome. Or maybe both of those suck, and you go to a TA and you're like, oh man, the TA was so much more personable and it was easier to talk to them. Whatever, we're trying to give you a bunch of options so you can find out what works best for you. All right. So what's the deal with this library session that we're talking about? So there's a link here. You have to sign up for it. There's a couple different sessions that you'll go to, and there's a librarian assigned to our class, and they'll teach you, all the stuff you need to know for this assignment. They go over how to research, the resources that BYU has. Excuse me. And they make it super easy. If you go, I think I remember almost finishing the entire assignment in the library session. So if you go, it's definitely worth it. Also, if you don't go, you can't complete the assignment. We can't give you points for it. So you must attend a session in order to complete the assignment anyway, so you might as well go and make the most of it. And then a reminder that the assignment is due at the beginning of Lab 3, which is on September 18th. So here are the times available for that library session. So I mentioned it's due on the 18th. If you look, there's a Friday, September 15th. You can go to a library session. That gives you 3 days to do this assignment. If the professor is willing to schedule a time 3 days before it's due, it's probably not as big of a deal as you think it might be. But if you do that on the 6th, on Wednesday, if you go to that one or go on the 7th, and you get it done, then you have weeks. You have like almost 2 full weeks to to come to me, have me look over it. You have 2 weeks to, polish it up. You have 2 weeks to, maybe slip into the writing center 2 or 3 times, that kind of thing. So we want to set you guys up for success. I would recommend going sooner rather than later, and don't procrastinate. But, if things do get in the way, you have plenty of options here. Okay, so that concludes the library assignment here. If you have questions, email me. All the information should be either in your lab packet or online or both. And if you have questions, the library is a resource, the writing center is a resource, I'm a resource. I think you guys got it. Okay, fruit flies. They're fruit flies, I guess. What we're going to be doing is setting up fruit flies, and we have to collect data every week for about 12 weeks. And we're going to use this data to do some calculations and things in a lab here in the future. So we have to set this lab up on Monday. Every other lab is going to have it set up already, but because we didn't have class yesterday, we have to do it at the start of our lab number 2. So what we want to do is kind of go over it briefly here, and then I want you guys to go over it yourselves. That way we can move quickly, all right? So again, since we don't have lab on Monday, we have to get this set up right at the beginning of lab on September 11th. This is really important because I want you guys to have enough time to finish your calorimetry lab. It's not a super time-intensive lab, but there are some steps you have to take to get it right, and I want to give you guys enough time to get the fruit flies done, get your lab done, and then start working on the homework so you guys can kind of get a feel for how all that works. So basically what we're going to be doing is taking a jar, putting in some fruit flies, a male and a female, and then over the next 12 weeks, they're going to be doing their thing and reproducing. And what we're going to be doing is counting their offspring every day we come to lab. And it sounds like it'd be hard counting a bunch of flies buzzing around in a jar, but it's actually super easy. And that's all explained in your lab packet. So if you want to know, cliffhanger, go to your lab packet, read all about it. Before you come to lab, it is super, super, super important that you guys read the procedure in your lab packet about the fruit fly experiment. That will make things go so smoothly on Monday. You have no idea. If you guys come and you have no idea, you haven't read it, haven't looked over it, and you come in with a deer in the headlights look, it's going to be hard for me to explain it to everybody, and I don't want to necessarily have to waste time explaining it when we could just jump in and then move on. We want all the fruit flies taken care of, again, so we have enough time to do your calorimetry lab and start your homework. I would love it if every single person, I could sign off on their homework, and every single person felt confident walking out of class that their homework is basically done. That would be fantastic. I hope that happens, and it's all up to you guys. Real quickly, this is the brief procedure. We're going to get a jar. You're going to write your name on it. Every single person needs a jar. It's not like 1 jar per group. It's 1 jar per person. You're going to prepare your food medium. So it's like this bluish green goopy stuff that we put in the bottom of the jar. That's basically food and water for the flies for the next 12 weeks. You're going to get a male and a female fly. So I'm going to, at the front of the class, what I'll have a bunch of fruit flies. I'll put them to sleep, and you'll come up with a little toothpick or a pencil, and you'll try to find a male and a female. And then we're going to put the fruit flies in your jar. You're going to put your jar sideways and put them on the side of your jar, because if your flies fall into your food medium, they'll drown because they'll get stuck in it, and if they're asleep, they won't be able to get out and they'll drown. So that's basically it with the fruit flies. Not a whole lot to go with it, but it will take us a little bit of time, and I want to move through it as efficiently as we can. So make sure that you guys are going to be reading over that, looking over your procedures before you come to class. That doesn't only count for this lab, but it counts for every other lab. If you guys look over the procedure and your homework, it's going to make lab go super smooth. You'll already get a feel for what we're going to be doing. You'll already kind of know what's coming up ahead of, what steps are coming up, that kind of thing. It's crazy helpful. Please do that. If not, you'll have enough time to, read the procedure in class and stuff, but it is more effective, and you will learn better if you do it, look over it. Even if you go sit in the hallway 15 minutes before class and read through the procedure real quick, that will be more helpful than trying to read and learn the procedure as you're doing the lab. So I have a couple things that I would like you guys to do before we meet on Monday. And this is kind of a review from kind of all that we've been talking about, just kind of like the main points that I want to make sure you guys do. But there were a couple of things that I mentioned, and just make sure you do those too. If I don't mention something that you hear, that you heard me mention before, still do it. Doesn't mean that I don't want you to do it, just means that, it's not as important as these things, okay? So before you come to class on Monday, before you come to our lab, make sure that you have read through the syllabus, including all the safety procedures and the fruit fly procedure. This is like crazy important. I want you guys to know what's up with the lab. I want you guys to know how the class works and come with questions. I don't want you guys to hear in 3 weeks, be like, hey, so I haven't quite understood how the homework works. I'd rather you guys just ask me questions on Monday in person. We can get all squared away, and then we can move on and just fly through the course. I'd hate to have to take pit stops along the way because you guys skipped out on reading a couple things. So make sure you're reading your lab procedures, make sure you read the syllabus, and go over the things. Basically, if it's anything on paper, read it. In class, in lecture, you'll also get the class syllabus and things, and they'll go over a lot of this information again as far as how the class works. But just make sure that you are reading the materials that you're given, prepare yourself for the class, and that will make things go a lot easier for you. There is a safety agreement form. I'm pretty sure it's in your lab packet. Again, read through the safety information and then sign it saying that you're going to be safe, that kind of thing. Make sure that you guys, at least today, sign up for a library session. If you guys don't necessarily have to start your assignment, but sign up today. Because what's going to happen is if you procrastinate and wait to sign up, every other one's going to get filled up, and you're going to be stuck doing it on Friday the 15th, and you're going to have a weekend to do it all by yourself, where there's not any office hours and things. You can shoot me an email and stuff, but I'm probably not going to be as available as I am during the week. So if you guys want my help, do it sooner than the weekend. And if it were me, I would sign up today and try to just get it done. Even if you do the library session on, say you do it on Wednesday, and then you wait a week to finish the assignment, that's fine. But make sure you get the library session out of the way. That ensures that you get points for the assignment, and then that ensures that you know what's going on. So make sure that you at least sign up today. Again, sign up today for a library session. On Monday, again, if you don't wear pants and closed-toe shoes, I can't let you into the lab. Like, you can't even step foot into the lab. So come to lab with long pants and closed-toed shoes. If you absolutely have to wear shorts again, you can wear scrubs and stuff. That's fine. Just long pants, closed-toed shoes. Last thing is, come to my office hours. I will have office hours this week. During those times, come stop in, say hi. We can go over some of the material here. If you have questions, stop in and say hi. I would love to meet you guys before I, see you on Monday. And I can help you with anything you have going on. If you guys, have questions, this week about, where certain buildings are at, or what's the best way to do this. I've been on campus for a while. If you are new, I can help you out with those things. If, say, you walk out of lecture on Wednesday and you got that deer in the headlights look and you are just totally not prepared for this class, come in and talk to me and we'll help you out. We'll get you a plan going. I'll, give you some more tips and tricks and things like that. And we'll get you so you have the lowest amount of stress. You can just learn in a very stress-free, healthy, fun, interactive environment. And that's basically it. If I mention other things that I would like you to do and they're not on this list, still do them. Again, I look forward to meeting you guys on Monday. We have lab on Monday, September 11th starting at 4 o'clock. We'll go until 6:50. We need to do our fruit flies, do our calorimetry lab, and start on our homework. So if you guys come, make sure you come on time. We're going to get all this stuff taken care of. We're going to do great. If you guys have any questions, email me, shoot me, shoot me an email, come to my office hours, come talk to me. I'm here to help you guys out. With that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off this video. Contact me if you guys need me. I'm looking forward to an awesome semester. This class is great. Dr. Jensen is awesome. You guys are going to really enjoy lectures. You're going to enjoy the class. I have super high hopes for you guys. We got the best lab section out of the entire class here. So let's rock it, guys, okay? I'll see you guys on Monday.